Hello folks, welcome back. This is Kweku. I'm a pharmacist. This channel is dedicated to healthcare information as well as pharmacy stuff. So feel free to hit the subscribe button if this is something that you find interesting or useful. Today I'm briefly going to be talking about levothyroxine, which is sometimes sold under the brand name Synthroid. I'm quickly going to be going through some of the best practices for taking levothyroxine. I would also take a look at some of the interactions with other medications and also answer a question that I seem to get quite often, that is if levothyroxine can be used for weight loss. Levothyroxine is primarily used in the treatment of hypothyroidism, which is characterized by the body's inability to produce enough thyroid hormones to meet all its needs. This leads to a slowing down of a lot of the body's major functions, and such people tend to be usually fatigued all the time. They tend to gain weight. They cannot tolerate cold. Some even have fertility problems, and some may even experience dry skin or slowing down of the heart rate. So to mitigate all this, your doctor may prescribe levothyroxine. To get the most out of your prescription or your levothyroxine, the following measures are recommended or are best practices. And unless you are advised otherwise by your physician, there may be some things that you need to consider. The first on the list is when to take levothyroxine. It is generally recommended that levothyroxine be taken in the morning, about 30 minutes or ideally 1 hour if you can, before any food or even coffee, with a glass of water. Now, there are a number of reasons for this. Number one is that food significantly affects the absorption of levothyroxine. That is why taking it before food in the morning is an ideal time, so you don't inhibit the absorption of this levothyroxine. Some studies show that if up to about 20% of levothyroxine is not absorbed in the presence of food. The other reason for keeping a tight morning dosing schedule is that it ensures consistency. This avoids fluctuations in the thyroid levels and hence the variable control of your symptoms. With that said, I also sometimes get questions as to whether levothyroxine can be taken at nighttime or at bedtime. And my answer to that question is that it varies. It depends on the individual. Number one, what you need to take into consideration is the timing of your last meal. Since I already explained that levothyroxine's absorption is affected by food, and you want to make sure that it is typically taking at least 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours after your last meal. So if you're an early sleeper or you're a late eater, then you may want to reconsider taking it at nighttime or at bedtime, because there may not have been enough time for your food to leave the system and thereby inhibiting the absorption of the levothyroxine. Another consideration if you decide to take it at bedtime or in the night is that some people, though a few minority, complain that levothyroxine actually keeps them up, gives them a little burst of energy, and therefore you want to be careful if you want to take it at night. The last thing you want is to take your levothyroxine and lay in bed counting sheep at night. Next, I'm going to take a look at a few medications that are worth watching if you take them concurrently with your levothyroxine. The first on the list is generally supplements, and I'm going to single out iron and calcium supplements. These typically tend to bind to the thyroxine and thereby decreasing its availability or decreasing the amount of the thyroxine in circulation. This obviously leads to a decrease in the absorption of levothyroxine, and hence such supplements ideally should be separated from your levothyroxine. The other class of medications worth taking note of are antacids or PPIs or proton pump inhibitors. Proton pump inhibitors include Nexium, Protonix, Prilosec, Pantoprazole, and so forth. So what happens is that levothyroxine is generally best absorbed at a specific acidity of the stomach. What these antacids and PPIs do is that obviously they reduce the acidity in the stomach and thereby inhibiting the absorption of levothyroxine. So it is also recommended that PPIs and other antacids be separated from levothyroxine. Another class of medications that is sometimes overlooked is estrogens. Estrogens typically also affect the level of thyroxine that is circulating in the system. And therefore, if you are somebody who's taking any kind of estrogen, be it in a birth control or for hormone replacement therapy, your doctor may have to adjust your levothyroxine dose just to make sure that you're getting enough to do what it is supposed to do. Now to the question of whether levothyroxine can be used in the management of weight or to treat obesity. Well, the truth is that thyroid hormones actually, or levothyroxine for that matter, actually cause weight loss in people that are hypothyroid. However, for people that are euthyroid or people that have normal thyroid function, there's actually a warning against the use of levothyroxine for weight loss. The FDA specifically has a black box warning which says that patients or people that are euthyroid or have normal thyroid levels, normal doses that are given for hormonal requirements are generally ineffective for weight reduction. The larger doses that could have produced the weight loss are also very dangerous and may pose very serious or life-threatening manifestations of toxicity. So in summary, yes, levothyroxine can cause weight loss in people that are hypothyroid, but people that have a normal thyroid function, they're going to need such large doses to cause weight loss that it may end up being detrimental to them. And according to the FDA, it can even cause life-threatening scenarios. So there you have it, folks. Thank you for staying through this video. Hope you found it useful. If you did not, please leave me a comment in the comment section as to what you were expecting but did not hear, and I'm more than glad to address it for you as well. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe.